Nobody was expecting me to be on this team.
Mhm.
Honestly, we know what the views are of this organization from the outside. But I knew enough people in it to know that we could do something special and that we could potentially change some minds and some views. And
WNBA finals tickets are going for just $10, while Caitlin Clark's jersey is selling for $200. That's not a mistake. The league's biggest games now cost less than parking at most arenas, and Diana Taurasi just revealed the real reason fans have stopped showing up. What she exposed about those empty seats will leave you stunned. But first, if you're done with the WNBA's drama and support true basketball talent like Caitlin Clark, make sure to hit that like button. The Phoenix Mercury were swept in the 2025 WNBA Finals, and instead of owning up to it, Diana Taurasi pointed fingers everywhere else. Yet no one is talking about the fact that even at $10, tickets weren't selling. Game 3 had entire sections deserted, and the lower bowl looked completely vacant. Just a few months ago, when Caitlin Clark was on the court, those same seats sold for at least $500. The difference is a disaster for the league's image. But there's more. Commissioner Kathy Engelbert has spent the week insisting that the league is stronger than ever. Stronger. Yet the finals brought in fewer viewers than an average Indiana Fever regular season game earlier this year. Before Caitlin's ankle injury sidelined her in late 2025, every Fever matchup was must-see TV. Now, the championship games can't even reach 500,000 viewers. The stats make it clear what truly fuels interest in women's basketball. And then came the shocker. Taurasi's post-game comments had the basketball world buzzing. She claimed that real WNBA fans don't need stars to enjoy the sport, and even said the league was better before all the new spotlight. Just think about that for a moment.
There's clearly so much love for your team. There's a huge free agency on the way. This roster may not ever look the same again. So for you, like, what made this team so special and one to remember in your career?
You know, in the off season, it was obviously like a tough decision for me. I've been with the Aces for so long, and we did some amazing things together as a team. And like I said in the post, I could just feel, God. When you could just feel like you need to get uncomfortable, or like you're being pushed in a direction, and because it makes you uncomfortable, kind of don't want to do it.
So, what goes through the mind of a player with 2 championship rings when she's offered a chance to walk away from it all? This past offseason, Sydney Colson faced a decision that caught nearly everyone in the WNBA off guard. Staying with the Las Vegas Aces meant a clear path to more titles, a proven system, and the comfort of playing beside her close friend Aya Wilson. It was the logical and safe choice. But then came a call from the Indiana Fever front office. On the other end were general manager Amber Cox and head coach Stephanie White, presenting her with something far more meaningful than a contract offer. It wasn't just about joining another team. It was an invitation to help build a legacy from the ground up.
I think the older I've gotten, the stronger my faith has gotten. I run to the uncomfortable, honestly, because I know on the other side there's going to be some lesson that I needed, and that was what happened.
Colson later described that decision as a powerful leap of faith. She believed she was being led to a place where she could grow, both personally and professionally, and gain the lessons she still needed to learn. It reflects a familiar pattern in sports, where experienced players choose to leave behind championship comfort to take on roles that allow their leadership and influence to shape a team's culture. Yet, the public was quick to assume her move had to do with money or promises of more playing time on the court.
Nobody was expecting me to be on this team. Honestly, we know what the views are of this organization from the outside. But I knew enough people in it to know that we could do something special and that we could potentially change some minds and some views. And
the Fever's front office had a clear and intentional plan. From the very start of free agency, they pursued Colson not just for her skills, but for her personality and her ability to accelerate the growth of a young roster. Amber Cox explained that they needed someone who could lead by example, while keeping the atmosphere light and positive. They saw Colson as a culture builder, a two-time champion capable of bringing a winning mindset to a team still finding its identity. When asked why she ultimately chose Indiana, Colson described it as both a personal and spiritual calling, something she felt she was meant to do at this stage of her journey.
I mean, when you put yourself out there, you also put yourself out there to haters. So how do you handle that aspect of it?
Oh man, I used to just troll them back because like there's nothing that you can say about me that'll hurt my feelings. Like I literally do not know you, and some of the responses are bots. You know, for me to get my feelings hurt about people, I gotta respect you. I gotta value your opinion. A lot of things go into it.
It wasn't a decision made through logic or convenience, but a step into uncertainty guided by faith. Colson viewed it as an opportunity to reshape perceptions of the Fever franchise and to contribute to something meaningful. That single leap would ignite a series of events that reshaped both her career and the entire identity of the Indiana Fever. When news broke of her move, it sent shockwaves across the WNBA. This wasn't just a routine free agency shift. It marked a major cultural moment. Colson wasn't only a valued veteran, she was A'ja Wilson's closest friend and a key figure in the Aces championship legacy. Her decision to walk away instantly drew a line between the emerging new era and the established WNBA elite.
So like you being a stranger, I could care less about you talking about how many points I scored, minutes. I don't care.
No, they'll see you and ask for a picture, you know? But you haven't shied away from it.
Many viewed Colson's move as a subtle act of defiance against the league's traditional hierarchy. Her deep friendship with Wilson, one of the faces of the veteran establishment, made her decision to join Clark's team feel symbolic, almost like crossing a line. The media quickly framed it as a surprise twist in the ongoing narrative that veterans were reluctant to play alongside Caitlin Clark, painting Indiana as a destination few would choose willingly. From the moment she signed, there were unspoken expectations about how Colson would handle herself in this new environment.
And I loved seeing you and Caitlin Clark's relationship. You know, you guys are always cracking jokes on social media, on your live. And obviously she's a game-changing player for the league. So like, what has it been like, you know, getting to know her humor, and seeing firsthand all that's coming her way?
It was cool being on a team with her, getting to see her in another light. Was really cool.
But Colson's first moves in Indiana completely shattered that narrative. Rather than staying reserved or offering polite, distant remarks, she openly embraced her new teammate with authentic excitement. At her introductory press conference, she called the experience both crazy and special, highlighting how Caitlin Clark had already transformed the city's basketball scene. Colson noted that fans were traveling not just from other states, but even from overseas to witness the Fever in action, a clear sign of how much Clark's presence was elevating the franchise and the league as a whole.
Over the course of her career, I think, we haven't had many instances where we've seen like Caitlin, Angel, Paige, like players come in with the sort of notoriety that they had, the sort of money that they're making, the attention, everything. It's a lot for a young person to be dealing with, on top of pressure to do well as a basketball player, to lead your teams, all of that. So it was good to be able to see like a lighter side of her, you know.
But Colson's first moves in Indiana completely shattered that narrative. Rather than staying reserved or offering polite, distant remarks, she openly embraced her new teammate with authentic excitement. At her introductory press conference, she called the experience both crazy and special, highlighting how Caitlin Clark had already transformed the city's basketball scene. Colson noted that fans were traveling not just from other states, but even from overseas to witness the Fever in action, a clear sign of how much Clark's presence was elevating the franchise and the league as a whole.
Fortunately, when she was injured, you're having to adjust your mindset. You're having to get mentally tougher because I think she'd had like a bad injury before. So now you're having to watch your team from the outside is still, I would be talking to her a lot about, make sure you're still being vocal. You know, you don't want to lose this time with your teammates, and because you're injured or sidelined, you're not still using the opportunity to lead or to grow relationships. Don't let it be a wasted season just because you can't physically contribute.
By openly supporting Clark and fully committing to the Fever's vision, Colson dismantled the anti-Clark sentiment that many within the league's establishment had quietly embraced. She immediately set a tone of unity and maturity that became essential to the team's growing chemistry. Once in Indiana, Colson had a front-row seat to the Caitlin Clark phenomenon, but her understanding of it was far deeper than most. Drawing from her years of experience and 2 championship titles, she recognized that behind the hype and highlight reels was a young athlete carrying an extraordinary amount of pressure. Colson didn't just see a superstar. She saw a person navigating fame, expectations, and responsibility at a level few could truly understand.
Her desire to become a better leader and, to come back, because there were times where maybe, she thought she was coming back and then it wasn't happening, or another little thing would happen that turned into a big thing. But to see her fun side, I think that was the most important part, to see her being jovial and lighthearted and having fun with her teammates. I don't think was like a side that people saw a lot last season. And so I would just be telling her more of that.
Colson described the experience as refreshing because it gave her a chance to see a more relaxed, genuine side of Clark. She noted that players like Clark, Angel Reese, and Paige Buchers enter the league carrying immense public attention and financial pressure, a heavy load for anyone so early in their career. The shift from college stardom to professional basketball can be overwhelming, and when that transition comes with global expectations, the challenge multiplies. That's where veteran leadership becomes invaluable. Colson instinctively took on that mentor role, offering stability, perspective, and support to help Clark manage the unique demands of life in the spotlight.
Something really special for us to have been together for just a matter of months and not fully healthy, everybody at the same time. So it was fun. It was really fun. And I think the Commissioner's Cup championship gave us even more confidence that we could go on and win a championship. And I think we would have had we stayed healthy.
When Clark's season was unexpectedly cut short by injury, Colson's role within the team evolved. Her focus moved from performance on the court to providing emotional and cultural leadership off it. Injuries often separate players from the daily heartbeat of a team, the practices, the energy, the shared moments of progress. But Colson made it her mission to keep Clark connected and involved. Understanding that Clark had never faced a major setback like this before, she helped her navigate the mental challenges of recovery, emphasizing resilience, patience, and the importance of staying engaged even when she couldn't play.
People pointed to your voice as one in the locker room that everyone listened to, that you were one of the main leaders for the team. People trusted you. Taking on that role, what was it like trying to overcome some of the hurdles? And was there a hurdle this season that you guys that rocked y'all, almost was so tough to really stay together from?
So what exactly did Colson do to guide Clark through that difficult stretch? Much of their dialogue revolved around the theme of leadership. Colson encouraged Clark to keep leading with her voice, even when she couldn't lead through action. She reminded her that her influence on the team went far beyond scoring or assists. It was about presence, communication, and setting a tone. Colson wanted Clark to see this time off the court not as a lost season, but as a crucial phase for personal growth. Together, they focused on building stronger bonds with teammates and refining her leadership style. Colson recognized Clark's genuine drive to evolve in that role and helped her channel it in meaningful ways. This mentorship, centered on the unseen parts of the game, became one of the defining forces of the Fever season, proving that true leadership often shows up when you can't step on the floor.
Also, I think everybody can see the different types of adversity that hit our team. And I don't know, we just found a way. We got a lot of personalities on our team and there's a lot of joking around. So when hard times were hitting, we were just making jokes, laughing, because honestly, some stuff was just, what can you do? What can you say about some stuff? You just gotta get closer together, and I think we did that. I think it showed in our play. and the environment was positive.
With Caitlin Clark out due to injury, the Indiana Fever's season could have unraveled completely. Instead, it turned into a defining test of the culture that Sydney Colson and the other veterans had been brought in to establish. The team was hit with adversity on several fronts, a string of losses, relentless outside criticism, and the tough task of constantly adjusting the lineup as new players were rotated in to cover injuries.
We got plagued with injuries, but even though the injured players, like, we still tried to make it a point to be around for practices, to still be lending our voices, to give whatever advice and wisdom we could, even though, like, we weren't able-bodied, you know?
Yeah, it seemed like humor was therapy for you guys.
The pressure was overwhelming, yet Colson's leadership became the stabilizing force the team needed. Her style was built on humor, honesty, and connection. She made it a priority to create a locker room atmosphere where everyone could relax and be themselves, using laughter as a way to release tension and keep spirits high through difficult moments. This emphasis on mental well-being and team trust directly strengthened performance and resilience. When players feel safe and supported, they play with more confidence, take bold chances, and fight harder through adversity.
You are captivating. You are funny. The way people are consuming the WNBA is changing and evolving. So now, my girl, you got commercials with TJ Maxx, Ally, Deloitte, Kia, DirecTV. You're doing commercials with Diana Taurasi, Brianna Stewart, Paige Beckers. Like, how have you found your lane to crack open and break through the zeitgeist? And literally, like, it's not something funny. You are one of the faces of the league.
The true test of the Fever's new culture came when Colson herself faced a devastating injury, a torn ACL. What could have been a crushing blow to team morale instead became a defining moment. Losing one of their key leaders might have once fractured the group, but this time the reaction was different. The team came together around her, mirroring the same optimism and humor she had instilled from the start. Their unity and strength under pressure showed just how deeply her influence had taken root. This collective resilience became the Fever's signature, a team bound by trust, spirit, and purpose, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead.
I'm me everywhere I go. I think authenticity is going to always get you where you need to be, even if it's not what you pictured. And a lot of mine just happens to be forward-facing, but a lot of that can be attributed to, like, our showrunner, our director for the Sid and TP show. Carly, they came up with the idea for TP and I to be the faces of the league.
A fresh stage awaited Sydney Colson in Indiana, where her impact reached far beyond the court or any box score. Her vibrant personality and inspiring journey quickly turned into one of the Fever's greatest assets. While in Las Vegas, she was part of a team already stacked with stars. Indiana offered her something different, a spotlight of her own. Here, she emerged as a central figure in one of the WNBA's most captivating stories. This new role opened doors to meaningful opportunities that had never been within reach during her previous championship runs.
We love self-deprecating humor. We're totally okay with what our paths have looked like in the WNBA, because while I love basketball, it's not my everything. Like, I'm a multifaceted person, so if basketball hasn't gone the way that I thought it would go, like, that's okay. Like, I've still been in a very blessed position, and one that I'm very fortunate for. A lot of minutes are not. Like, it's been a real treat to be in the W for this long. I can't say that I expected this.
This surge in recognition opened doors to national commercials and major brand partnerships with companies like TJ Maxx and Ally. By aligning herself with the Fever's rebuilding journey and the rise of Caitlin Clark, Colson elevated her public image to new heights. Brands eager to tap into the WNBA's growing fan base viewed her as the ideal representative, authentic, relatable, and deeply connected to the league's evolving narrative.
So to see that really turn into us being the faces of the league, I hope that it's inspiring to people to just bet on yourself and, like, make yourself a brand, like, be authentic, stay true to it, and, like, the people that are supposed to find you will find you.
Sydney Colson's choice was never just about basketball. It was a statement about where the league is headed and who will define its next era. The Indiana Fever, built on Colson's leadership and Caitlin Clark's once-in-a-generation talent, are setting a fresh standard for success. They're proving that the right balance of veteran experience and youthful energy can create a winning, sustainable formula. Colson has often shared how much she values the relational side of the game, even hinting at a possible future in coaching. With a strong foundation and long-term vision, the Fever's future looks brighter than ever. The 2026 season can't come soon enough. Do you stand with Sid and Caitlin? Let us know in the comments, hit like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss what's next from Hoop Queen WNBA.